I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault.
Imagine a name that once echoed through the streets, a whisper of power, a legend forged in the fires of the drug game. Big Meech. For decades, he was locked away, a ghost of a kingpin, his empire frozen in time. Then, freedom. The prison doors swung open and the world held its breath. Was the legend truly back? Could Big Meech reclaim his throne in a world that had moved on? The hype was deafening. A comeback story for the ages was being written, or so it seemed. But beneath the surface of flashing lights and roaring crowds, a darker question began to emerge, a seed of doubt that quickly sprouted into full-blown suspicion. Was Big Meech walking into a trap? Was his grand return less a triumphant coronation and more a meticulously planned execution? And was Rick Ross, the self-proclaimed boss, the architect of his downfall? Buckle up, because this story takes a sharp turn into betrayal, unanswered questions, and a potential setup so cold.
Already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand, you gotta stop making business personal. Took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Little Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail. Now we know Rick Ross has a song where he's like, I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover. And that's the Big Meech that gets portrayed by Little Meech on the TV show BMF Power, produced by 50 Cent.
On echoes of figures like Big Meech, he wasn't just offering support, he was orchestrating a spectacle. Remember those videos? Ross throwing stacks of cash in Meech's face, not just symbolically, but literally showering him with money. He promised a legendary comeback concert, a star-studded affair, the Big Meech Home Benefit Concert. He wasn't just talking, he was putting on a show, creating the illusion of an unbreakable alliance. He hyped up a car show, plastered Meech's face everywhere, made it seem like this was more than just business. It was a brotherhood, a resurrection. June 7th, get online right now. Get your tickets right now. Ross barked into cameras, the boss seal of approval stamped all over Meech's return. For a moment, it was intoxicating. The prodigal son returns, embraced by a powerful ally, ready to reclaim his kingdom. But was it real or just masterful stagecraft?
And it's ironic, right? I mean, it'd be kind of easy to see why the real Big Meech would like that song by Ross. But if 50 Cent gives your family, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And, before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, 50 Cent doesn't pay people. He's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Lil Meech got $5 million, and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross thing. I don't think Rick Ross even gave him $1 million for whatever they did. It was a picture. It was an event. I doubt it was $1 million.
The air crackled with anticipation in the days leading up to February 13th. Social media was ablaze with the lineup for the Big Meech Home Benefit Concert. Lil Baby, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, even Ross himself. The names were legendary, promising a night for the history books. Fans scrambled for tickets, believing they were witnessing the dawn of a new era for Big Meech. Then the unthinkable happened. Not days before, not even hours, but hours before the doors were supposed to open, the rug was yanked out from under everyone. A simple, cold announcement from the Ameron Bank Arena. Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be made at the point of purchase. Unforeseen circumstances. That's it? No further explanation, no dramatic weather event, no security threat publicly announced, just canceled. The shockwave was instant. Fans who were already making their way to the venue were turned away. The online chatter exploded, confusion, anger, disbelief. Unforeseen circumstances sounded like a blatant lie, a flimsy excuse to mask something far more sinister. The timing was just too perfect, too devastating. Hours before the comeback moment, the whole thing implodes. Suspicion immediately began to swirl. What could have possibly caused such a sudden and complete shutdown? And who stood to benefit from Big Meech's public humiliation?
What he was saying. Yeah, like business is business. A part of me understands a part of that. I do understand that.
Well, they always say there's no permanent friends and enemies in business, just permanent interests.
Yeah, so. Because this is the thing. I understand that 50 got, the ongoing beef with the people and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But it seems like their transaction is just business.
Enter Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, the king of petty, the master of online warfare, and crucially, the producer of the BMF television series. The series that, ironically, had breathed new life into the Big Meech legend for a whole new generation. 50 Cent and Big Meech's relationship was complicated, to say the least. Through the BMF show, 50 Cent had given Meech's family a platform, and more importantly, a paycheck. Lil Meech, playing his own father, became a star. But beneath the surface of this seemingly beneficial partnership, tensions were simmering. And 50 Cent's reaction to the concert cancellation was like pouring gasoline on a fire. He didn't just acknowledge it, he reveled in it. His social media became a weapon of mass mockery. The screenshot of the cancellation announcement was just the opening salvo. Then came the jokes, the clown emojis, the sarcastic Valentine's Day wishes. "I had nothing to do with this," he declared with a wink and a smirk that was practically audible through the screen. He even amplified a video mocking the situation, highlighting rumors of Lil Baby and other artists pulling out of the concert. 50 Cent's caption? The funny stuff is they were saying Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them nothing. Lil Baby was 5 when you got indicted, WTF, he owe you 10 cow and coming soon. The message was crystal clear. 50 Cent was enjoying Meech's pain, and he wasn't shy about showing it. Whack 100, never one to mince words, even suggested that 50 Cent likely was behind the cancellation. Using his industry power to blackball Meech and Ross? Did 50 Cent pull strings, make phone calls, leverage his influence to sabotage Meech's comeback? He denies it, but his gloating reaction raises serious questions. And in the entertainment industry, where grudges run deep and power plays are the name of the game, nothing is ever truly off the table.
I doubt it was 500,000. I doubt it was 200,000. I think it was $100,000 or less, whatever Big Meech did for Ross. And he sold his relationship with 50 for a $100,000 picture, basically.
The silence from Rick Ross after the concert cancellation was deafening. Remember the roaring baws, the chest-thumping promises of support? Suddenly, he was nowhere to be found. He dropped a brief, almost dismissive 5-second video barely acknowledging the disaster, then immediately pivoted back to promoting his own projects, his own car shows, his own liquor brands. It was jarring. The contrast between his initial grand gestures and his abrupt disappearance was stark and revealing. Fans who had bought into the Ross-Meech alliance felt betrayed. They flooded social media, accusing Ross of being a fraud, a user, a clout vampire. He just used Meech for publicity. Ross never cared about Meech. It was all for show. The accusations flew thick and fast. And honestly, looking at Ross's actions, it's hard to argue against that narrative. He got the photos, the headlines, the buzz of being associated with Big Meech's comeback. But when the chips were down, when Meech needed actual support, not just empty hype, Ross vanished. No backup plan, no public statement of solidarity, just silence. It felt calculated, almost cold-blooded. Was Ross's initial support just a carefully constructed facade? Did he ever intend to truly help Meech? Or was it all about leveraging Meech's name to elevate his own brand, knowing he could ditch him the moment things got complicated? The vanishing act spoke volumes, painting a picture of a calculated opportunist rather than a genuine ally.
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's going to be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now,
To understand why Big Meech might have fallen into this situation, we need to look at his circumstances upon release. Decades in prison don't just erase your past, they often leave you starting from zero, or even worse, in debt. The transcript hints at Meech's financial vulnerability. Lil Meech even says his dad took money from Ross so he could pay his bills until our next season starts. Next season, referring to BMF, the 50 Cent produced series. This is crucial. The BMF show wasn't just a TV program for the Meech family, it was a lifeline, a steady source of income, a legitimate platform built on their story. 50 Cent, whatever his personal beefs, had put Meech's family on payroll, given them executive producer credits, a real stake in the game. So why would Meech seemingly turn his back on that for Rick Ross? Perhaps desperation clouded his judgment. Maybe Ross's flashy promises of immediate wealth and power were too tempting to resist, especially when facing mounting bills and the pressure to live up to his legendary name. He might have seen Ross as a faster, more direct path back to the top, a shortcut to reclaiming his kingpin status. Lil Meech, caught in the middle, tried to defend his father's actions, explaining it as a matter of survival. Screw Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he could pay his bills. He paints a picture of a father doing what he had to do to stay afloat, even if it meant making deals with questionable characters. But was it a necessary survival tactic, or a short-sighted gamble that backfired spectacularly, burning bridges with a powerful figure like 50 Cent for fleeting promises from Rick Ross? Just when the dust seemed to be settling on the concert disaster, Rick Ross lobbed a curveball. I want to do a real BMF movie, theaters only. He even name-dropped heavyweight directors like Tony Fuqua and Quentin Tarantino, adding a veneer of legitimacy to the announcement. Was this a genuine attempt to salvage the situation, to offer Meech a real lifeline after the concert debacle? Or was it just another PR stunt, a way to deflect criticism and keep his name buzzing while Meech continued to sink? The timing was certainly convenient. Ross was facing a barrage of backlash for his perceived abandonment of Meech. The movie announcement shifted the narrative, at least momentarily. See? Ross is helping Meech. He's making a movie! But the internet wasn't buying it, at least not entirely. Skepticism was rampant. A movie? Right after the concert fell apart? Sounds like damage control. Where's the money, Ross? Show us the contracts. Tarantino? Fuqua? Please, this is just talk. The fan comments were brutal, reflecting a deep-seated distrust of Ross's motives. Making a movie, especially a theatrical release with A-list directors, is a massive undertaking, requiring significant investment, planning, and genuine commitment. Could Ross, who seemingly couldn't even pull off a benefit concert, realistically produce a major motion picture? Or was the BMF movie just another empty promise? A mirage shimmering on the horizon, designed to distract from the reality of Meech's increasingly dire situation. Is it a lifeline? Or just another layer of illusion in this elaborate game? So, we're left with a kingpin in crisis, a concert in ruins, a powerful producer seemingly gloating, and a self-proclaimed boss who vanished into thin air. Big Meech's comeback, once brimming with promise, now looks like a slow-motion train wreck. His financial situation is precarious, his industry connections are fractured, and the very people who seem to offer support have either disappeared or actively mocked his downfall. Was this all just a series of unfortunate events, a perfect storm of bad luck and poor planning? Or was there something more calculated at play? Was Rick Ross truly setting up Big Meech from the start, luring him in with promises of support only to pull the rug at the most critical moment? Did 50 Cent from the shadows exert influence to ensure Meech's public humiliation? Or was Meech himself the architect of his own demise, blinded by desperation and poor choices, walking willingly into a trap he should have seen coming? The questions linger, unanswered. Big Meech's future hangs in the balance. Will he find a way to claw his way back from the brink? Or is this the final curtain call for the BMF legend? A stark reminder that in the cutthroat world of fame, fortune, and street mythology, even kings can be left out in the cold, betrayed, and set up? Let us know your theories in the comments. Was it a setup? And what do you think Big Meech will do next? The streets are definitely still talking. If you want to stay on top of this unfolding drama, hit that like button, share this video with anyone who needs to hear this story, and definitely subscribe for more in-depth investigations into the power plays and untold stories of the entertainment world. We'll be watching closely to see what happens next with Big Meech. Stay tuned and catch you on the next one.